Zion Williamson is a unique basketball player. A combination of brute strength, a tight handle, and soft touch makes him one of the best interior threats in the NBA. Zion is like a truck driving to the rim, and at 6'6", 284 pounds, there's not many players who can match his strength and mix that with his explosiveness, and he is tough to contain one-on-one. A legit 23 points per game scorer on an efficient 61% true shooting. 69% of Zion's shots are generated at the rim, where he shoots 67% per cleaning the glass. His handle opens up so much of his bully ball drives. It has impressed me with how capable and fluid his handle is, comfortable using crossovers, push crosses, in and outs, and behind the backs to change directions. He can bring the ball up in a relaxed, laid-back stance, then get into a crossover, changing speeds, getting low on his drives, and burst into the rim. Even if defenders sag off on him, this gives Zion enough space to get a head of steam going to the rim. This is a guy who can bring the ball up and work one-on-one and in ball screens and make plays. His play can extend to the perimeter, high posts, low posts, and he has the explosiveness off the dribble to attack bigs and the bigger frame and strength to bully smaller players. Zion also utilizes push shots, driving hooks as a way to combat lengthy defenders when he gets inside that free throw line area. He isn't an easy guy to defend, especially in transition or when he gets a full head of steam going towards the rim. And even as an off-ball player, he provides value as a screener and a smart cutter. He isn't reliant to be a ball handler and does a good job floating out into open space against a collapsed defense, or just overall being a lurker near the rim who can benefit off of dump-off passes. And he isn't just pure bully ball. He really has some nice touch to where he is one of the few players who can get away with shying away from contact and still finishing at a high level, or at times he can take off really early on his drives. Like, I'm talking like he's taking off from the free throw line, and he still has the amazing touch to be a great finisher even though he's taking off early. Not many guys can do that in the league. Guys just don't have that touch to be able to do that, to take off early and still finish at a high level. He can finish some tough layups high off the glass and against heavy traffic inside. It's actually insane how awesome his touch is, to where two defenders packing the paint really doesn't matter. Can really show that explosiveness off 2 feet, getting some hang time in the air as he finishes inside. He has a blend of being a contact finisher as well as a slithery finisher, and with those tools, he can be in the conversations of best finisher in the league every year. He's still pretty reliant on that left hand. He does showcase the ability to drive right, but almost always is going to get off a left hand shot. Zion has been solid in being a distributor. With his rim pressure, he's going to generate a ton of ball pressure from multiple defenders, and he has been solid kicking it out to the open man or finding cutters. He averaged 5 assists on the season. His passes aren't always pinpoint, but he has the right idea and makes timely, quick passes to shooters or cutters. He's a passing threat off of drives and as well as off of post-ups, where he takes his time seeing how the defense loads up against him and then making a play off that. He does at times have tunnel vision when driving. It got better over the years, but there's times he does miss teammates when he is hell-bent on attacking the rim, and he can struggle passing in tight windows, or at times just completely putting too much power on the pass that can make teammates fumble the ball. I still think he's a solid passer and does do a good job in finding the open man and making the right read off of live dribble situations. He needs a ton of shooting options around him to truly highlight that passing ability. He works well off of ghost screen actions with a shooter or using inverted screens to force smaller players on him, which makes it hard for defenses to contain him within ball screens. His downhill attacks makes him a great foul drawer as he gets to the line 7 times a game. His free throw shooting is average at 70%. It could be so much better. And this shows a hole in Zion's game, which is his shooting. He doesn't have much of a mid-range game, and he doesn't shoot much threes. This oftentimes leaves the defense sagging off of him, playing for the drive, and having another center on the team who can't shoot. Zion is oftentimes seeing 2 bodies in the paint, and though he can score with his soft touch against those trees, the degree of difficulty he has to go to score inside gets harder and harder. which is why the Pelicans have to prioritize getting that center who can space the floor at a high level and is capable of defending the rim. Those types of centers are really hard to come by, and they just don't go up on the trade market like that. And until the Pelicans figure that out, they will continue to have poor spacing and a weak interior defense. Zion already has a lot of injury problems, and his style of play where it's constantly attacking the rim, taking a lot of hits, it may not be sustainable for a long-term career, as explosiveness, athleticism dies down with age, and adding on tons of injuries, that can accelerate that decline quicker. A guy that I hope Zion kind of molds himself after is Blake Griffin. Blake was an uber athletic player whose game when he was younger was based on rim scoring, lobs, we all know the Lob City stuff. But Blake molded himself as he got older and his athleticism declined. He became much more of a complete point forward type of player who can shoot the three ball and create a bit within the mid-range. Zion has a ton of time to get better as a player, but you want to see more of that all-around scoring to develop so he can fall back on that. Now, Zion is a 6'6" power forward, and that already makes it tough to build on him positionally. He isn't big enough to guard centers and not quick enough on his feet to switch out on guards and contain them. His biggest value comes off ball when he is defending the opposing team's weakest offensive player and being a guy who can slide over and help, play in the passing lanes, and provide rim protection, which is where that athleticism and explosiveness pops the most defensively. He can at times get caught ball watching off ball, getting stuck in mud and not rotating quick enough. His closeouts can be slow, which can lead to him getting blown by. Zion Williamson can improve a lot. Better urgency to box out, better activity defending on ball, and an outside game. But at a young age, he is already one of the best rim scorers in the league. Combine that with a good handle and solid playmaking, and he has the tools to be one of the league's best point forwards.